Hey there, Rizwan. Let's take a look at these essays, okay? So the first one is about bird flu casualties. Here's what you said. The bar chart depicts data from World Health Organization about, no. The bar chart depicts data from World Health Organization regarding the number of bird flu casualties throughout the globe per year for a period of 10 years from 1990 to 2000. Okay, fine. Overall, it is clearly evident from the graph that the number of people afflicted with bird flu has increased dramatically over the decade. Fine. In 1990, there were, what number is this? You're missing a zero here. There were 1,200,000 casualties reported due to bird flu. The number remained almost the same for the next year also. We don't start sentences with but. There are many other ways you can show contrast. You could say yet, or you could say however. So, yet, in 1992, the number of casualties increased again by around 15,000, and the data remained constant for one more year till 1993. Thereafter, we can appreciate a steep increase. I'm not crazy about this expression, we can appreciate a steep increase. You could have said instead, thereafter, we can see a steep increase, or thereafter, a steep increase is noted in the number of bird flu casualties for the next 5 years, comma, that is, comma, from 1993 to 1997. The number rose from 135,000 in 1993 to 175,000 in 1997. Comma, that is almost thrice the number increased from 1990 to 1993. That's a little awkward. I think I understand what you're trying to say. You're comparing the increase from that first period to the increase from that second period, but it's just a little awkward. Thrice the number. Not that it's wrong, but it's just not really the most natural way to say this. So I think you could have said, which is a 40,000 increase, which is an increase of 40,000, or how much of a percentage is that? Like, what's a proportion of 135 to 175? And you could say, which is an increase of X, okay? After, you're missing a 1 here, after 1997, for the next 4 years, the number of casualties plateaued, past tense, without any fluctuations in the graph. Now, that's not totally correct. There is a minor fluctuation that if you were really aiming for a higher score in your task achievement, you would have mentioned. There was a minor dip in one of those years. I don't actually have the graph in front of me to refer to it, but there is a tiny little dip. But you could say that on the whole, throughout that last 4-year period, numbers remained constant despite a tiny decrease in whatever year that was. All right, this is fine. You've done a lot of good things, but I'm just trying to help you with some suggestions on how you can make this even better, how you can improve this, how you can get it even to a higher level. Okay, let's take a look at your second essay. Okay, and here it is. In this modern world, with easy access to information, people choose their career wisely. There are lots of commentators who proclaim that one should switch their job at least, once in their career. Okay, you can't start a sentence with but. It has to be a different linker like yet or however. So let's try that. However, I am of the opinion that one should stick to the same job, get rid of on. One should stick to the same job they choose for the rest of their lives. In this essay, I will bring forth arguments to support my views. I think this is 2 words. Let's move on. To begin with, most of which people? If you mean just most people in general, then say most people. So to begin with, most people choose a career according to their interests, S, and passions. Yeah, probably S here as well. So they would be happy to work hard and tirelessly. This would help them to achieve success in their career with promotions and higher wages. For example, Sundar Pichai, the current CEO of Google, capital G, joined it decades back as a mere employee and has reached the present status through his dedicated work and passion. Hence, it would be apt to continue the same job rather than switching the career in between. Okay, there is some kind of sentence here or piece of information that's linking. So here, you say that people pick their job according to their interests, so they're happy to work hard. This helps them achieve promotions. And then look what happened to Sundar. And then here you say something all of a sudden about being in the same job. There is nothing here that says that Sundar Pichai reached his present status by staying in the same job. You've just assumed that, and you've asked the reader to assume that, but you cannot. Perhaps he was chosen to become CEO of Google after being CEO of, I don't know, Amazon, for example. Okay, do you understand my point? So you can't assume things. If there are links between ideas, you have to create them and you have to present them. None of these links can be hidden. So again, there is something missing here about how this ties into staying in the same job and how this person stayed in the same job and how his success was the result of staying in the same job. So all of that's missing here. Let's move on. Another reason for what? This is a new paragraph, and so you should explain to us the reason for what. It's not clear because you discussed a lot of different things in the previous paragraph, so make it clear again. Another reason why people should stay in the same job, perhaps? Okay, well, if that's what you mean, then please say it, and then you don't need a full stop here, obviously. So another reason for staying in the same job is that the experience which a person gains in the particular field is enormous, and he could use this wide exposure for his success as well as for the development of that particular field. Meanwhile, if one switches to another field, this vast knowledge, because knowledge is uncountable, this vast knowledge one gained will be of no use to himself in the world. To illustrate this point, consider a doctor switching to business after having 10 to 15 years experience. All his clinical acumen and knowledge would go to waste, and he would rather start from the beginning as he enters a new position. Therefore, what? What's the therefore here? What's the conclusive idea that links back to your first statement? Okay, so wrap it up for us. This felt to me a little better, developed a little more logical. All right? To summarize, it would be better to follow your passion and in the same job rather than changing to a new job. Okay, so it's fine. I told you what my issues were with this first paragraph. You decided to talk only about why it's important to switch. No, I'm sorry. Why it's important to stay in the same job. Did you include the task as it was written? No, you didn't. Okay. I'm pretty sure that it said some people think this, whereas other people think this. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So it's fine. One thing that I like to see in these types of essays is why there might be some validity to switching jobs. I mean, why are we even discussing this? Why is this something under debate? Why is this something that is controversial? So clearly some people have reasons for why they think we should switch jobs, and clearly you have reasons for why you think they should stay in the same. Can you think of any reasons why the people who believe that switching jobs is valuable, why they might be right? Okay, so it might be worthwhile to look at that part of the argument. In fact, I believe that some of these questions really are posed in such a way that they actually invite you implicitly to do this kind of comparison, okay? Especially when they make outright comparisons. So keep that in mind and think about potentially talking about why it might be valid to switch jobs, even if you refute it in the end, but talk about why it might be valid, okay? So, like I said, some of this needed a little more development. It needed a little better cohesion between your ideas. That's what was missing for me, especially in this paragraph. I felt like there were some both ideas and links missing. So basically that's something that covers two criteria. It covers coherence and cohesion as well as task achievement. All right, so go ahead and correct these essays, and let's see what you write in your next set of essays. I'm looking forward to it. Good luck.